Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so imagine this. I was sitting around Arc Moon, doing my own thing, riding the Milo run, and I get a message. Hey, I want to talk to you about something if you're interested in doing it. All right, I'm interested. Because for those of you who don't know, I play free to play, which means everything I do is based upon propositions or deals I make with other people, or by me doing work for someone like collecting sweat, for example, or a certain material, or crafting a certain product at a certain location to kind of help with their workload. Very minor stuff. And a lot of it maybe is because uh, there's for sure viewer involvement. My journey has been eased, shall we say, based upon people that have watched my YouTube and have appreciated the journey and the difficulties I put myself in and these type of things. Knowing that if I wanted to invest money, it would be something that would come easier. Um, but I wanted to show this from a very particular point of view. So when this person said that they had something that I would find interesting, my first thought was, I'm interested. What is it? Because there's a lot of things I can do in between while I'm trying to build and grind the money I need to be able to buy the next batch of basic stone extractors because I can't find a great source for that. Certainly not enough for 45,000, which is what I'm hoping to be able to do with my season of crafting one. Um, but that kind of what we had in the conversation next kind of put everything on hold. So he told me that he didn't necessarily want to be known, that he wanted to be known as a viewer and that type of stuff, because he's not going to extend this maybe to other people, or if he does, he wants it to be his offer, not people reaching out to him. Basically, is what I gathered. But he wanted to lend me a blueprint, and he wanted to lend me enough PED to do 30 runs of this blueprint on Planet Toulan, and to then see what that would look like if I videoed it and recorded it. And he wanted me to keep all the totals like I was talking about doing in vlog number 28 and 29. And he wanted me to go ahead and show that and then give that back to him, um, plus the blueprint he gave me or lent me, so that he could then, basically have this crafted on a certain Planet Toulan, um, and I be able to see the journey from a different perspective, and maybe from fresh eyes and from starting from zero to see that growth. He was interested in what that would look like. He probably knows very well what this blueprint looks like in his hands. He wanted to see it in someone else's hands. I told him I was ecstatic. I would gladly do it. I clarified the terms a little bit. We agreed. He had one caveat he wanted to carve out. He said that since the blueprint that he's lending me is Explosive Projectiles 1 that I think everyone who's watched my video so far knows I would love, but is an extremely difficult blueprint to get because they all sell for like 160, 150, 130 PED. So it's a very difficult one to get. So I wasn't sure. At first, I thought he told me the QR rating was 30. I was like, okay, I'm going to level it up for you. That makes a lot of sense. When I got to Toulan, the one he handed me was QR 100. And he told me that he was going to let me borrow 20 PED a day to be able to do this. But what he ended up doing is just saying, forget it, here's 600 PED. Just make sure I get it back. Absolutely. And I've gone off and gone to work. Now, I've been highly motivated to um, get to Nadiri's wanting an apprentice to get that done. Or Nadiri wants an apprentice because there's a precursor mission. And when I do the season of crafting, the first one I'm doing will be Nadiri wants an apprentice, the first parts. So just like I did with Still Waiting on Supplies, I'll do the same thing. But this time I'm going to run this mission 30 days in a row. Well, as close to as in a row as I can get. So far, since I've got the mission activated, it has been in a row. But I've only done it 5 times. So we're still working on that. Today will be my 6th. Tomorrow will be my 7th, hopefully. And at some point in time, because it's creeping into the evening a little bit, I'll probably have to skip a day and do one before work or early in the morning. Then I'll be on days off, and I'll have a good 4 days in a row to be able to get this done. And that'll be good. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I can tell you I see the allure for Explosive Projectile 1. If this is truly a BP that no longer drops, which I've not run the blueprints that supposedly drop this one. But supposedly, Explosive Projectile 1 drops Explosive Projectile 1. I have a feeling it no longer does, because that would be insanity if it did. It's one of the few blueprints that probably is broken, and that no one really wants to talk about the brokenness of it. But yeah, there's a good reason why this blueprint is the way it is. Let's just put it that way. Out of my 5 runs, I am a net profit based upon my blueprints and my production so far. And I've not got the one caveat that he carved out. I didn't say that earlier. That was the Explosive Projectile Recycling, of course, the limited one. If I get that, of course, that will go to him. We never talked about the Explosive Projectile 1 if one should happen to drop. I figured if that dropped, I would just talk to him. But I have a feeling that it won't drop. But anyways, so yes, this is what I'm looking at doing, and my machinery skill is drastically improving. I was hoping to be at 1,500 by the end of my 30 runs. I think I want to amend that, maybe closer to 2,500 to be probably more accurate. I'm slowing down a little bit. I don't have quite the gains that I once did. And I don't know what my skills are going to look like when I get to that point. But for sure, it's going to be very, very different. So, yes, things can change on a dime. What does this mean? Well, not a tremendous amount as far as you guys are concerned. It takes a lot of the videos I was doing and it pushes them out. That's not a big deal. I can push those out. They'll be just as relevant then as they are now. They were designed to be evergreen and seasonal, so this will be just fine. I'm still going to run those mostly together, I think. I have other things I'm running right now with this. So I'm going to make my seasonal 1 crafting to be on Toulan, doing Toulan missions, and then I'm going to do Toulan missions around the Toulan missions, shall we say. So basically talking about Toulan for a few months while I roll these 30 videos out, which obviously, if you can imagine, 30 videos even over, let's say, 5 months, that is 6 videos a month. So we're looking at quite a few videos. 1 to 2 a week probably be standard. So lots of great videos to come up with. I have topics for all of these. The topics I had for the Brukite, I'm just now swapping over to this, and I've already picked out topics for the Brukite. But since I'd already started this process with that, I'll just go ahead and do that. I think you're going to enjoy the coverage of these videos. They're going to be very educational while showing something that I don't think anyone in the game has done so far, which is to take a mission and to show in detail the results for 30 days of doing it. And then having informative stuff that actually is worth watching for those 30 days. And we'll go from there. I'm very flexible with this type of stuff. You have to be sort of in this, in my line of thought, because not to quote other people too much, but Gary Vaynerchuk says you gotta hate the idea as much as you love the idea, and you gotta be willing to cut when you gotta cut, type of thing. Sort of similar. I don't have that with everything, but with the videos, that is a thing. I gotta be able to say, yep, that's what I want to do, or nope, that's what I want to do, and then move on, and not have a bunch of regret because I held on to an idea too long. So, the Brukite is still sitting there. I have a pile of Brukite. I have a pile of basic stone extractors. I have a pile of everything between Arc Moon, Arc Planet, Calypso, and Monria, actually. I have a pile of all those things there. And to be honest, I'm a little concerned what this is all going to blow up into, because the number of leather extractors I have found on Toulan means I'm probably 100% doing my leather extractor run. I talked a little bit about wanting to do it sometime way in the future. Well, it might be a lot sooner in the future than initially I thought, because I was thinking like season 4 or 5. And it might be on Toulan because I don't want to move the extractors off of Toulan. But there are a lot of basic leather extractors on Toulan. Yeah, we'll get into that in the future videos when you actually start to see some of the hunts and whatnot and the missions I'm doing. So we have that. And there are some wonderful textures on Toulan, so it just makes complete sense. And I could go back to doing another season of crafting with machinery, which also makes sense. So lots of things are making sense here. A lot of synergy, which I love synergy. I love doing multiple things at one time. So we're going to be doing that type of stuff. Okay, guys, so this is my first time ever going to Toulan. You can see here I actually have a little bit of a problem navigating how to get down to the planet. And to be honest, the next time I do it, I probably will have just as hard of a time. I had actually forgot to download the planet so I could actually land on it prior to leaving Arc Moon. So I didn't even have the ability to land on it when I got there. I had to download it and wait in space, which is always an eerie feeling. I didn't have anything on me, but I just don't like doing it. What I found is that Planet Toulan has a lot more creatures per inch than a lot of other planets do. Then, like, for example, if you go to Arc Moon, let's just say the entire moon is about the size of Toulan, which is probably a true statement. Might be bigger. There are probably 1/3 the creatures on the moon than there are on Toulan. Now, there's not a huge variety on Toulan, but there are a lot of them. Some of them are in huge globs, not even swarms, just globs. They're basically touching each other. They're so bad that you have to use a loot pill in some parts. Otherwise, you'll pick up 5 more just trying to get your loot. Guaranteed. It's like the menorahs on the roads leaving Gamma. They're that bad. And they just are very centralized. And I don't understand. I mean, I understand why. And I guess they tried to break it up some. And some people are like, no, don't do that because of X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if I agree or disagree with that. Because I never saw it the other way. But I can tell you it's a little, like, I don't necessarily want to hunt 2 creatures at the same time. And there's 2 different types in there. So, they're both juveniles, so I guess that's a thing. But, whatever. TabTabs come in all sorts of age categories. Hunting in the age category with TabTabs is very difficult. I picked up a new pet. I've named it Eppi-D'Craft. For the season of crafting. He's a TabTab. Currently, he's level 3 when I got him named. He's almost level 4. But he will be level 7 by the time we're done. Easily. And he will be my little crafting mascot. And that will take him to whatever crafting runs maybe I do. And maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll continue that. Maybe there's nothing to him after he gets to that level and I'll just stop because it's not worth it. But I have a thought, and I haven't fully explored that thought, but I think it's interesting all the same. My thought is this. So, some skills are shared between professions. So, for example, in animal taming, animal and pet handling, that uses intelligence to some degree. That is there. In crafting, uses intelligence. If you have a pet that gives you a 10% bonus to your skills for pet taming, does that include intelligence for both crafting and for pet? Does the source of the skill matter? Or do I get 10% bonus to my intelligence when I'm crafting, then, or do I just get that for when the pet gives me intelligence? I don't know. I'm going to find out. I think that's a novel idea. It's not going to be tremendous. It's like I said, it's 10%, and it's for a short period of time, and blah 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 blah. But that is an interesting thought. Maybe that turning on that pet ability will actually increase the frequency of which I gain intelligence. Could that be like a way to improve my ability faster in that? So this is a path I want to go down and try. I could do this with the rover, but since I've got a TabTab, since I did the Kendra TabTab mission, which is one of the missions you'll see when all this comes out, which is a pet taming mission, that is a thing I want to check out as well. And we'll go from there. So, Nawa stuff. Everyone comes to Loon, says you gotta look for Nawa, right? So I went looking for Nawa. I knew that it was a found item on the ground. I knew that it was often found in this PvP area, so I went looking everywhere for Nawa. There's also some other thing that is kind of like Nawa, but it's not like Nawa, and it is literally pet on the ground as well. So I went to go look for that in addition. I can tell you that after looking for Nawa for about 10 days outside of that very specific PvP area, Nawa is not found, in my opinion, outside of that PvP area. It is found only in that PvP area. And when I went to that PvP area, I found another person who was probably a little nervous about the fact there's a player in the PvP area with them. And I basically sent them a message saying, hey, I'm not going to take your Nawa hunt, good luck. I'll wait for you to do it, and I'm going to log off and come back. And I just stood there, and I got talking with another guy. And they told me they appreciate it. And then they said, you know what, if you want to hunt Nawa, go for it. I'm actually hunting the creatures. I said, oh, perfect. And I was noticing there is a saying that it said someone else got the loot. Someone else got the loot, or whatever it was exactly. And I have a little video clip I'll play of it right here. That was him picking up Nawa fragments or something. I don't know if it's more than one area and they're all linked. But in this area, there is for sure Nawa fragments. And I went ahead and started to pick up these things, ran around him. He globaled 3 times while I was there. I was like, congrats. We got talking back and forth. It was a good social encounter. I picked up 5 different pieces of fragments of Nawa. And yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. Now I'm going to go back there and do it again and continue and continue and continue. Not because I'm looking to necessarily use that for a way to make money, but I know that those Nawa fragments are part of a key that will take you into an instance. And inside that instance, there is a creature that I want to tame that is in there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know what it is. I don't even know. I don't have a screenshot of it. I don't have anything. So it'll be its own video when it comes out. Whether I succeed, fail, I know that it's listed as hard, where the TabTabs are easy and common. But this creature actually has a special ability that grows, and that actually has benefits later on. It reduces the amount of crit damage you take, or that the people in the area take. I don't know if it's you or the area, by like 3% or something. Not a tremendous amount, but as it goes up levels, I'm sure that gets better. Well, there are certain creatures I'm sure that crit way more than other creatures, so that would be very useful. Or maybe in one of those razor fine fights, that would be super helpful to not be taking crit damage. So anyways, this is a thing. This is a creature that I would want to tame. This is a worthy creature to actually have as something tamed. And it looks a lot like a TabTab, so you're not going to really tell the difference. I'll still have my mascot, which I'll probably stop at whatever level gives me the bonus, and I'll try that and see how that works. But after that, I don't know if I'm going to go with that or if I'm going to go with this other creature. But anyways, so that's kind of the direction I want to go. And of course, these will be other videos I'll be putting out moving forward. And we'll have a lot to pick from, shall we say. But anyways, guys, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Get this out to more people. You know, I think this is going to be a very interesting moving forward. I'm going to be doing this hopefully sooner versus later, since I don't have to incur the cost of buying the Brukite and the extractors and all that to be able to do this. So look for this very soon coming out with this push on the Toulan planet missions and all the stuff I'm going to be doing on Toulan for the next few months. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye. Keep her in that bed.